Hello boys and girls to another character guide for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm SuperMarioT. Today we're going to be discussing Palutena. How to play Palutena, how to play her competitively in this game, etc. in order to learn the matchup. I said this in my Mario guide as well, but I main Mario. In Smash 4, I mained Palutena. You could imagine how much of a struggle it was as a Palutena main, because she was a low tier character. She was just not that good. But here in Ultimate, this character got insane buffs. I am so happy how much better she is in Smash Ultimate, because now she's a contender for a high tier, maybe even a low tier, like a low top tier. Low top tier is what I meant to say. Like, Palutena is so good in this game that it's kind of crazy how much more recognition she's getting after how little she got in Smash 4. As far as, like, what Palutena can do, for starters, I think we could go over her attributes and capabilities. She has the 15th best run speed. Palutena is a very fast character. She's not like she's 15th fast, so like there are plenty of other characters that are faster than her. But she's generally up there as a very fast character. She could get places much quicker than Mario can. She has 16th best in terms of walk speed. She has good walk speed, and her air acceleration is like top 5. She has the 5th best air acceleration. Her airspeed is kind of lackluster, and she's somewhat a tall character, making her an easy target, while also being an average middleweight character. But because she has good air acceleration and speed, and she's good for footsies, dash dancing, and baiting your opponent, it more than makes up for her lack in airspeed, and it complements her otherwise fast movement capabilities. Her jab, in Smash 4 you could just like poke it and like run away. They increase the end lag on it, but like it's still decent for poking shields. Like if you hit your opponent with the first hit of the jab, then be careful not to hit Z. Otherwise you're just going to be hitting them while they're shielding. Because they increase the end lag or the startup lag. They just increase the lag on the first hit of her jab. Normally you could poke with it and just start up with a grab there in Smash 4. But otherwise it's not as reliable for that. It is reliable on racking up damage. If your opponent's like right next to you, you could rack up like 20+% damage. It's much stronger than it was in Smash 4. It's very good if you want to like get a decent amount of damage on your opponent. It all depends on the positioning. It's also capable of jab blocking as well, though you have to hit him when the opponent's bouncing on the ground. It's not going to hit them if they're just lying on the ground. As you can see, Link was too low. It might depend on the character as well. Like King K. Rool could probably get hit if he doesn't tech on the ground. But you're generally going to be using that if your opponent's like bouncing on the ground. So Palutena's jab all around, it's good. I just don't think it's as good as it used to be in Smash 4. They might have compromised with giving her that jab block, so she can't just like use her staff and then grab, because it doesn't come out as fast as it used to. So mainly use jab to rack up lots of damage. You could literally get a free 20% if you land it. And if your opponent doesn't tech on the ground, jab block. Where Palutena shines though are her aerials, her forward air. I believe it comes out frame 8. I might have that number wrong. But it's super good for spacing. As you can see, you could just go crazy with short hop forward airs. Does 12% from a full hop. 10% from a short hop. Yeah, there's a damage range when it comes to short hopping with a forward air, but it's super good for spacing. It's good for on shield if you could space it properly. It's usually good for getting like offstage gimps, and you could just string multiple forward airs into each other. Like, it is super good. At super low percents, and depending on the character as well, you could get some true combos off of forward air. Like forward air into dash attack, stringing multiple forward airs off stage. It's a really good gimping tool, as well as being good for spacing. It's just a very solid forward air overall. And this is mainly your offensive tool to bait your opponent to approach, as well as like hurt their shield, or if they're not shielding, and if they're jumping, you can get a free 10 to 12% depending if you're short hopping or full hopping. Her back air, on the other hand, it's also a very good tool. It's much more defensive than her forward air because Like, it provides Palutena more invincibility on the shield and arm, their invincibility frames. So it's super good for spacing as well. And it does more shield damage. It does, let's see. It does -7 on shield, whereas forward air would do -4 on shield. And it's also a very good tool for spacing and gimping. Super strong. Can challenge, like, practically any move because it's so safe. It's mainly going to be your primary move if you want to play defensively and, like, keep your opponent at a distance, or if you're going to gimp. And because it's so hard to punish, you can just whip out this thing and mix it up with forward air. And just go ham on your opponent. Even offensively, I think this is still a viable option. Like look how strong that move is. Her up air, there's lots of active frames. It's a good combo finisher. It's a reliable kill move. Can do like 10% damage off the top of battlefield, or like close to the top of the screen. It could kill like more or less 100, maybe even earlier than that. Like, up air is going to be your main kill move if you could get your opponent up in the air. Like, around, like, above 100% on battlefield, it'll kill on Omega platforms. If your opponent's up high enough, you could get a very early kill off of up air. And, of course, on the platforms of battlefield, it kills much earlier, especially on top. If your opponent DIs towards you, you could punish off with an up air. It's a really good move. Really good kill move if your opponent jumps a lot, if you can get them up in the air. It's a good juggling tool. Lots of active frames. It could challenge descending attacks as well, like Yoshi or Bowser's down B, for example. Palutena's down air, though, it is a really fast spike if you could get your opponent off stage. If your opponent's on stage, though, you can throw them off if you know they're not going to shield. And it's decent at racking up damage, too. If you know you can get your opponent off the stage, though, it is a really, really good spike. You just have to be careful on your positioning. I say whip it out if you know you can get your opponent off the stage if they're recovering low. And you can just punish them with a quick down air. It can 2-frame as well. It just relies on the positioning as well, and of course the timing. So, it is another option if you want to gimp your opponents at the ledge, but it's just a really solid spike overall. Her last move is neutral air, and oh my god, is it a really good neutral air. You can literally get, like, so many... it's honestly kind of free. It's just that good. It comes out super fast. It's good as an out-of-shield option. You could combo it into multiple neutral airs at once. End it with a forward air. The opponent's always going to be knocked back in front of you as opposed to behind. And you're mainly going to be using that to combo between it and forward air. It's just a really good combo move, and it's also a really good gimping tool as well, as it lasts a long time. It could even kill if your opponent's at a high enough percent, and depending on the recovery your opponent's using, it could even semi-spike, like Wario, for example, and sometimes Link as well. And as for combos, Palutena is one of the characters to still retain her throw combos from Smash 4. Like, you get a down throw into a forward air, that's a true combo. If your opponent doesn't DI properly, you could get a down throw into an up air. If you could buffer a running animation, like just after your opponent hits the ground, down throw to back air is also a good option. Down throw neutral air into another neutral air, forward air, down throw, neutral air, forward air. Down throw, neutral air, and down throw, forward air are true combos at low percents. Down throw, forward air being a true combo for a longer period of time if you're racking damage up on your opponent. But Palutena still has multiple options off of down throw. Like, Palutena benefits from retaining her throw combos from Smash 4, which is a good thing. Forward throw, it's a decent throw. You're not going to be using it for much. Mainly for positioning and gimps. It's not going to kill by any means. You could get like 11% off your opponent with it, so it's okay, but you're not going to be using it for much of anything. Back throw, on the other hand, is Palutena's main kill throw. Your opponent does a regular get up on the stage. You can back throw to kill them, like around like More or less 120% it can kill. If you don't want to use forward throw to gimp, you can use back throw to gimp your opponents as well. Back throw is going to be much more consistent for gimping, and of course being a kill throw all around. Her up throw is her least optimal throw. You're not going to get any combos off of it, as your opponent can just jump or DI away from it. But off the top of battlefield, at high enough percents, you could kill with it. So it's a good option right there if you're on the top of the platform, on the top platform of battlefield, if your opponent's at a high enough percent. Otherwise, you'd have to be at a ridiculously high enough percent if you want this move to kill. So unless your opponent's at like a super high percent on a platform, you're not going to be using her up throw. Her tilts are mainly used for harder reads and punishes. Side tilt you can use to space your opponent out, just because it's safe on front, but like your opponent can jump and punish. It's still relatively slow. At a high enough percent it can kill, but otherwise, you're not going to be using it that often. As a pivot tilt, when you pivot with side tilt, it is decent as a mix-up. Her up tilt, however, is super good for platform pressure and getting combos going if you can get your opponent up in the air. Like if they're trying to approach you from above. It's much quicker than it was in Smash 4. So it's good for getting aerial combos going. It's a really great anti-air. It's a decent move for platform pressure, as the last hit of her staff twirling will hit opponents on the lower platforms of battlefield. But you're mainly going to be using this for getting opponents up in the air and juggling. It's a solid up tilt all around. It can also consistently combo off a pop-off nair, which is very good. And before I forget this as well, not only is up tilt a good anti-air, it lowers Palutena's hurt box as well. So if your opponent tries to use an attack that hits her from where she's standing right now, between her head to her waist, if your opponent tries to hit you from there, you can whip out an up tilt to punish the opponent from there, or just dodge the attack, as her staff could just cancel it out. Her down tilt's also a good option to punish opponents at the ledge. Like the sour spot juggles them up in the air. You could get like a back air or a forward air in on them to punish them. It's good for a 2-frame punish, but you have to time it well. And say you mistime it, if your opponent sees you mess up the tilt, it's a lot faster than it was in Smash 4, so you could just run out and punish them. If they use an attack get up to punish you with missing the down tilt, you could use a pivot grab, runaway jab, or down tilt again, if your spacing is proper. But down tilt's decent in this game. And her dash attack, much like her back air, she has invincibility on the shield and her arm itself. It's safe against most attacks except for when your opponent's shielding, so they could punish with a grab. It could be a potential kill move at high enough percents. And it has plenty of invincibility. It's a relatively safe dash attack. Just make sure if you know your opponent can use it. And at low percents, forward air into dash attack is a true combo. It depends on your character as well, your opponent. Now her forward smashes, they're mainly, not just forward smash, all of her smashes are mainly going to be used for punishes. Her forward smash, for example, does lots of damage. It has a wind box, so if your opponent's recovering from up high, you could gimp them with the pushback from the wind her wings create. But her forward smash, you're mainly going to be using as a kill option to punish reads, and if your opponent messes up recovering, it has a good amount of range as well. So if your opponent's spot dodging or rolling, you can whip it out and just punish them with a hard forward smash. It's a really good forward smash. Her up smash, lots and lots and lots of vertical range. The longest up smash in the whole game. It lingers as a 2-frame punish. If your opponent's jumping, recovering from up high, if your opponent's trying to approach you from up above, you can use this to punish. It could go through the top platform of battlefield. It's a very, very good up smash, a very solid kill move. And the hitbox lingers for a decent while. That's why it's good for ledge traps. But it depends on timing, of course. It all depends on the timing of your up smash. If you could get your opponent to just barely grab the ledge, and right before they do that, you whip out the up smash. Her down smash, it's her least optimal down smash. It does a lot of damage. It also has a win box like a forward smash. and it covers from both sides, but like unless your opponent's spot dodging or rolling in between you, you're not going to be using it that often. Forward smash is going to be more consistent, as well as up smash. Still a good move though. Her specials though got immensely buffed. Her neutral special, auto reticle, it does more damage now. Could do like 12% damage. If your opponent does like a double jump off stage, it's a decent gimping tool. You're mainly going to be using auto reticle for spacing, as you could just stand on the opposite edge of the stage, harass your opponents. Of course, Link has a shield, but say this was like Ness or Dark Pit. Like, you could just stand there, harass your opponent, just hit them, get some free damage. Don't use this in the air, because there's plenty of end lag to come from the move, and if your opponent's close enough, they can punish you. But it's a decent option for gimps if your opponent does like a second jump. And it's your main tool for spacing defensively. It's also a super good zone breaking tool for characters with projectiles like Link or Toon Link or Young Link. Like you see right there. Her auto reticle can cancel out projectiles like Link's boomerang, bomb, well not bomb, well the other Link's bombs. The boomerang, like it's a really good tool to challenge other characters' projectiles. So it's good in that it's a zone breaking tool, not even just a spacing tool. Like auto reticle has its actual uses now. Her side special, Explosive Flame, however, it's brand new. Well, not brand new, it was her custom move in Smash 4, but now that her Reflect got tied to her counter, she has a brand new side special being Explosive Flame. Could do 15+% damage. It's a very good combo tool, good combo starter. Like, you could potentially combo side B off neutral B if your opponent's at like a mid to high percent, just below 100. If you know how your opponent's gonna move in the air, you could just link an Explosive Flame or punish them with an Explosive Flame in the air. If you tilt your stick forward, the Explosive Flame's gonna be closer to you. But if you don't flick and if you use it away, the Explosive Flame's going to be further away from you. There's a certain range capacity. You're going to want to be careful with that. It's a good ledge option. The last hit of Explosive Flame can hit opponents from beneath the ledge if you space it properly. It's a good baiting tool and pressure tool. You're mainly going to be using this for offensive spacing. If you could get your opponent to move in a certain pattern in the air, it's a good punish tool and an early kill move. Of course, in the air. It's great for ledge trapping, as your opponent does a normal get up. Explosive Flame could just cover most of the ledge if you're standing at the center. It could cover them if they're doing like a normal get up, drop down to use an aerial to punish, or a jumping get up. I think like rolling would be the only option to escape it, but otherwise it covers most options at the ledge. And for certain recoveries, it could even 2-frame punish. It all depends on the character you're facing against. However, both Auto Reticle and Explosive Flame, they suffer from being slow moves, easy to telegraph after some time, which is why you're going to want to mix up with your aerials more than just space with these two moves. Auto Reticle being more for defensive measures, Explosive Flame for more offensive measures. And Explosive Flame being for a punishing kill move. They can be punished by fast characters that can just get in and hurt Palutena if she's using them. Her up B, her teleport, or warp. It's a very good recovery move. It's good for ledge canceling as well, if you can master that. I've yet to master it on Battlefield. Let's say your opponent's recovering from beneath the ledge. And you can punish them with a down air. Like, it's a good option to mix up, like, offstage gimping. Of course, with enough practice, you can master, like, ledge canceling on Battlefield. I say, like, master this technique if you play, like, it's like an advanced technique for Palutena mains. Like, don't make this your primary objective to master. Like, it is a very good option. But I say wait until you get most of Palutena's playstyle down and her other assets before trying to master her ledge cancels. But it is a very good option. You can add it as an extra get-up, as you could just warp to like the other side of a stage, even from the ledge as well, if your opponent's at the ledge, and just mix up your spacing and getaway options. It's a good option, just don't use it too often. Her down special, Counter Reflector. It's a much more versatile tool, as it reflects projectiles when she's put up against projectile users, and if she gets hit with a physical attack, it does what any counter would normally do. It's a much more consistent kill move than it was in Smash 4, thankfully. Like, you could rely on this move to kill now, and if you know your opponent's like hitting you with lots of combos and strings in the air, or if your opponent's whipping out projectiles, you can whip out a counter to reflect it or counter it. It's a very good counter, and finally, she definitely needed this buff from Smash 4, because it would never kill in Smash 4. It's good against projectile users, combo/rush down characters, using lots of moves one after another, and just be careful not to spam. And for certain characters' recoveries, like Cloud's up B or Ness's up B, if they're trying to recover off the stage, it's also a very good tool to punish, as well as Marth or Lucina's up B, Chrom and Ike's, just so they can hit you while you use counter and you can push them back even farther, just for a free stock. And that generally covers Palutena. Her aerials make it great for baiting your opponent to shield, along with just being safe to use out of fear of retaliation. But Palu's one of the few characters to retain her throw combos from Smash 4, so conditioning your opponent to shield is what you want to do. Like, Palutena is a bait and punish character with great mobility, versatility, and has fantastic edge guard game due to her great aerials and teleport recovery, but her ground game suffers significantly because of her slower moves, limited options on approach, and her relatively linear game plan. Like, you're mainly going to be spacing with back airs, forward airs, you're going to be using combo throws with like forward air, back air, and neutral air, and you're going to be spacing a lot with those moves on top of auto reticle and explosive flame. But Palutena can weave in and out of her opponents because of her high mobility. Her fast run speed and quick aerials allow her to rack up damage, mix up, and even kill early. Palutena is a character that relies heavily on footsies to win neutral decisively to force your opponent into a disadvantageous situation. And she doesn't like being in a tough spot herself, as her close combat options are kinda limited. She could suffer against fast or combo heavy characters like Sonic or Falco, Roy, Sonic, Falcon, Captain Falcon, Roy, Chrom, that could go past her projectiles and just punish her because some of her moves can be slow and punishable if used carelessly. Or she suffers against sword users / long-ranged fighters that can outspace her attacks, like Donkey Kong, Cloud, Ike, etc. She has both offensive and defensive options for plenty of mix-ups, so use them well depending on your opponent, and try to be wary of her slower moves. In short, use her fast mobility to weave in and out, bait your opponent's attacks and punish them, space out with your aerials, grab them when you condition them to shields, and just punish them and like just space them out with her forward air and back air. She has multiple other options now than in the previous game, so significantly more flexible. And she's also a force to be reckoned with. Like, she actually has potential at being a high to top tier contender in this game, which is amazing. As a Palutena main, I am so happy with the buff she got. So let me know what you think down below. Are you happy with the buff she's got? Did this guide help you in any way? Because she's a heavy bait and punish character. She is hit and run, kind of, but like, she's more so bait and punish. Just because she has multiple different options at her disposal. So you're going to want to mix up with her. At least compared to Smash 4, Palutena feels legitimately godly in this game. She does very well on platform stages like Battlefield or Pokemon Stadium 2 with her Nair and great aerials and potential ledge cancels along with her space/baiting tools. She's good against characters with projectiles like Link and Simon, characters that are slow like Ganondorf or King Dedede, characters that are easy to combo like those two and Ridley for examples, characters with exploitable recoveries and short range like Ness, Mario, Dr. Mario, Little Mac, etc., and characters that typically can't get in and punish her specials and spacing tools. It's mainly fast rushdown characters and long range fighters / sword users you have to watch out for. Thank you very much for watching this guide on Palutena. I hope you got something out of this guide. I hope this helped you. I might do more guides on other characters. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I might do a guide for Dr. Mario, Pichu, a couple other characters here and there. But that depends if I get enough knowledge to actually help you guys with said characters. Like, I might do a guide on Wario and Incineroar if my best friend gives me enough, like, notes and knowledge to help me out with that. But otherwise, I don't think I'm going to be doing that many other guides on other characters. But it depends if this and the Mario guide helped you with that. So let me know down below. But just let me know if this guide helped you with anything. Oh yeah, backer is also a good option as a stage spike as well, if your opponent misses a tech. Just a little extra tidbit. Thank you very much for watching this guide. I hope you got something out of this. And I hope you all stay super like our waifu Palutena is doing in this game, because holy crap is she good.